When you were growing up, no one sat you down and said, here are the rules for your life, follow them. But they didn't have to, because the rules were already everywhere, in what your parents valued, in what your teachers rewarded, in what your culture said a good life was supposed to look like. Go to school, get the degree, find the stable career, buy the house, hit the milestones in the right order. And most of us followed those lines without ever questioning them. Not because we agreed, but because we didn't realize there was another option. That's the thing about inherited expectations. They don't announce themselves. They just become the water you swim in, the shape of the life you're building, without ever being asked if it's the shape you'd choose. And look, some of those lines might actually fit you. Maybe the career path you're on genuinely lights you up. Maybe the city you live in is exactly where you want to be. But some of those lines, they were drawn by someone else. Your parents' anxiety, your culture's definition of success, a version of enough that was never yours to begin with. And when you follow lines you didn't draw, you end up living a life that looks right, but doesn't feel like yours. That's an exhausting way to live. Not because that life is bad, but because the constant low-grade friction of being slightly out of alignment with yourself takes more energy than most people realize. So the question isn't whether there are lines. There are always lines, rules, expectations, assumptions about what you're supposed to want. The question is, are you choosing to follow them, or are you just following them? Because there's a version of your life where you keep some of those lines, the ones that genuinely matter to you, and you let go of the ones that don't. Not in a rebellious, burn it all down way, but in a quiet, honest, intentional way. That's what thinking outside the lines actually means. Not chaos, not rejection, just choosing for yourself, maybe for the first time. So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. What lines are you living inside that you didn't draw? I'd love to hear your answer. Drop it in the comments, send me a message. Wherever you're hearing this, let me know. Thank you for being here. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Choosing to step off autopilot and think differently about your life takes work, and I don't take it lightly that you're here. If today's episode resonated, the best way to support the show is to share it with someone who might need to hear it. And whenever you're ready to go deeper, whether through free worksheets, guided audio reflections, or one-on-one coaching, you can find everything over at thinkoutsideThelines.com. Be well, and I'll catch you next time.